Hello and welcome to Jill Cameron Creations. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Glimmer Hot Foil machine by Spellbinders, and I created a Happy New Year card with this machine using a die from MFT's Fireworks. So here is everything that comes in the package. You have the base, which is the electric part that plugs in. There's also a little place in the bottom of it where you can wind up your cord. You have the platform with the heating element, Glimmer Hot Foils, and a foiling die that usually comes with the machine, a silicone mat and tweezer, and then 2 spacer plates. One of the spacer plates is like a really light green color, and the other one is clear. These are not cutting plates. These are just meant to go with your hot glimmer machine. You do have to have a die cutting machine to utilize this system, and we're going to take a look at how to use this system right now. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do for your Glimmer Hot Foil machine, after you take it out of the box and undo all the packaging, plug it up, and there's a switch on the back right hand corner of the machine, and flip that to where it's on the on position and slide your base plate in, which is the one that has the gray square on it with the red lines. It does get a little on the warm side. I wouldn't recommend keeping your fingers on it, but it doesn't get so hot that you're going to burn your finger through the paper as you're putting it down on there. So you'll see over on the left hand side the little red light is on. That means that the power is on. It's starting to heat up. There's different packaging for the Glimmer Hot Foil. Glimmer Hot Foil is not the same thing as Deco Foil. This does require heat to adhere to the paper. When you're putting all of your stuff down on there, so you put your die facing up, cutting side up. If you're going to use just like a regular die, you can use a regular die on this. You also have the Glimmer foiling dies, as they're called, and they're basically hot plates that have the design on them. So you put that on your base plate there, and then you put your Glimmer Hot Foil down, and you want to put the pretty side down. The silver side should be facing up. Cut off as much of the excess as you can. As the machine gets hot enough, the green light in the middle will come on, and when you're ready to foil, you want to turn on, push the button right below timer, and it heats it up a little bit more so that you know that it's hot enough to transfer to your paper. Put your paper on top, and then both of your shims, and they're just glimmer shims for this. They're not cutting plates. You're not cutting anything. But once this is done, you're going to take all of it out, and it slides out super easy, and you're going to put it through your die cutting machine, just like you were die cutting anything. You can run it through twice, back and forth once or twice, and make sure that it's done, and then you just slide it back in. It is warm when it comes out, but it's not super hot. And there's a little extra foiling on there, and I'm going to show you how to take care of that in just a few minutes. So you'll want to cut off as much extra foil as you possibly can. So where this is a rounded image die on here, you see where I have cut off the corners of the foil, and that prevents what's called over foiling, so you don't get the foil in places where you don't want it. So I'm going to cut this off as much as I possibly can and trim down the excess of this. And you can save your little scraps because you can actually use those. This foil is thinner than Deco Foil. It is a tiny bit thinner, and it kind of shrinks to the die that you're using, whether it is a Glimmer Hot Foil plate or whether it's a regular die. Over on my blog, I have linked to a couple of other blog posts from Yanis Makula and also Jennifer McGuire and Spellbinders YouTube channel as well, that has some more videos on the Glimmer machine. A couple things you don't want to do with the Glimmer machine. Don't leave your finger sitting on it, and don't pick up the die directly unless you're super tough, been slinging pizzas out of an oven and your fingers are calloused or whatever, use the tweezers that come with it to pick up the die so you don't accidentally burn yourself. Also, I wouldn't necessarily let the kids use this by themselves. Just use it with supervision. Your paper and your die aren't really going to move a whole lot between transferring from the base of the Glimmer machine to your die cut machine, so don't really worry about that. I usually pick it up where those two stickers on, caution, hot surface, avoid contact, and not intended for die cutting. I will usually actually put my thumbs right there to hold both of the plates down, and they kind of pop up on the end, which is fine, because when you put it back down in there in the die cutting machine, of course it lays flat again. And here you can see where my thinking wasn't exactly good, because I put that in the top right corner, top left corner instead of the bottom left corner to foil. But anyway, so I had a serious blonde moment right there. But just use your scissors to cut the foil away, trim off the corners of it. See, it's not so hot that you can't touch it at all. It's just uncomfortably warm. And I figure out here in just a second that I put this on in the wrong place. But anyway. So, the Glimmer machine can be used with regular dies, which is what I'm doing here. This is a die from MFT from their 4th of July celebration last year. And also with the Glimmer plates. The Glimmer plates do not have a cutting edge on them at all. They are flat. Some of them do come with coordinating dies to cut the image out, but they're mainly just flat. The other thing that you can do with the Glimmer machine, which I have not tried yet, is that you can actually do letterpress with it, with the Glimmer foiling dies. So that's something that I'm going to do in a future video, but I just wanted to kind of give you a quick look at how the Glimmer machine works. This video is at twice the speed. I left this part right here in so that you could kind of get an idea of how long it takes for the timer to set, so you make sure that the die is hot enough for you to put it into your die cut machine to press. And some dies you're going to run it through one time and it's going to be perfect. Some dies you're going to run through twice and it's going to be perfect. So we're going to take a look at how to get rid of the overfoiling here in just a second. I also did some Christmas cards with a really super intricate snowflake edge border, and that's going to be in a video in probably a couple days about mass producing cards, so you can skip to that part. I'll put a chapter marker in that one so you can, if you wanted to, you can see how to use the how it does with the really super intricate dies. And I've been thrilled with this. It gives me a lot more options, and it stores really easily. I don't have a problem with it. There's a few places of overfoiling. All you need is a mono sand eraser and it comes right off. Just a itty bitty bit, tiny little pressure, not a big deal. You can actually go over the area where the foil is supposed to be, because the die itself pushed that down just a little bit, so you're not going to rub that off. And you can't even tell. Ta-da! It's all done. Beautiful. I just wanted something really simple. So I die cut the word happy from 3 pieces of black cardstock, and also New Year from in white embossing powder on black cardstock, and added to this. And that was my card. Plain and simple, very easy little card to put together, because this was mostly about the Glimmer machine, and I wanted to show that. If you can't tell, it's been a while since I have done a voiceover on a video. I took some time to just kind of create so that I have a stockpile of videos coming your way and blog posts. So you'll have more consistent content coming up this year than I have had in 2018. And as always, all of the products that I used are linked below. It is after the first of the year. I know that a lot of places were sold out for Christmas for the Glimmer machine. So just check back often. I know that Spellbinders still has the Glimmer machine in stock. If you love the look of foil on cards, but you hate the fact that you have to print something out or use a toner or an adhesive or something like that to get foil on a card, this might be a really good option for you. I have really enjoyed using it. I used it a lot this Christmas, on Christmas cards and that kind of thing. The foil itself is not expensive. There is a ton on a roll, so I think you'll get a really, really good return on your investment for this. So take a look at the Spellbinders Glimmer Hot Foil System, and as always, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and head on over to my blog for more information and tips and tricks on the Glimmer Hot Foil System. The link will be in the doobly-doo down below. And as always, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a happy new year.